Hello everyone, massagebf.com, Friday, November 6, 2015. I just made a cool little video with all of my cool little accessories that I bought for my gun, my little hobby. And as you could see, I made my bed. Even though I don't technically have to. It actually bothers me if I don't make my bed. So I made my bed. I made my fucking bed. But anyway, yeah, so I've been talking in other videos, I've been saying that it's perfectly legal to open carry a 10-inch hunting knife in Denver County. And the reason why I believe that is because all of the articles, and I even looked at the penal code. There's a website where you can access the actual penal code for pretty much everywhere in the country. And then, so everybody and all of the information that I was looking into it all was basically saying that there's no law against open carrying a hunting knife in Denver, as long as it's not concealed over 3.5 inches. And what ended up happening was I actually made 3 phone calls today because, of course, you know, and I've always told people this, you know, this is a prime example of why you got to be careful. Don't just blindly believe what somebody tells you, okay? Do everything that you can to have the correct information. And I have a couple of friends who should know these things, and I definitely want to do my own research, and I definitely want to make sure that I'm not going to get my privileges taken away, because I definitely have high hopes that one day we will have open carry widespread and whatnot. I'm not the only one that believes that the government is got their hands in way too much right now, and you know it shouldn't be this way. This is basically already a dictatorship, essentially. That's, you know, when government has their hands in schools, when they have their hands in guns, weapons, when they start telling you, you know, especially at a local level, when they start telling you what you can and cannot carry, you know, open carry or concealed, you know, it's basically already a dictatorship. Or we're seeing the beginning signs of it. And so, you know, and of course, for all of you people that want to be sensitive to the fact that, you know, there's sickos out there with a gun, you know, all that I can really say to you is I don't care. You know, that's precisely why the sickos, that's why I want to have open carry. That's precisely the reason for why I want as many people as possible. You know, I'm not some Nazi. I'm not some random guy. I'm not saying that I want to be the only person with a weapon. No, that's stupid. That's incredibly ignorant in every possible way. No, I want everybody. I want everyone, if possible. Of course, you know, there's always that individual choice, and I support that. I'm not saying it should be a requirement, but I want as many people as possible to be armed, visibly armed, not concealed. You know, I don't have anything against concealed carry. What I do not like is the fact that concealed carry is being taxed. And what I don't like is that in order to get a concealed carry license, you have to show proof that you went to a carry conceal course from a certified instructor. Okay, first of all, I encourage people to get as much safety training as possible. Okay, I think that's a great idea, absolutely, by all means. And of course, in that regard, you should pay for it because you're taking up their time and they're giving you precious knowledge that is valuable. So absolutely, you know, it should cost money to go and take a safety course, but it should not be a requirement by law to take a safety course in order to conceal carry. That is what I have a problem with. So, you know, by all means, I support getting, you know, absorbing as much knowledge as you possibly can and absorbing as much, you know, training as you possibly can. I support that. By all means, go for it. What I don't like is the government has their hands in things that they should not have their hands in, and you know they need to back off. because we're already seeing a dictatorship, and that's wrong. So, I have 3 phone calls here. The first phone call, I called a theater in Belmar, Lakewood. In case you didn't know this, open carry in Lakewood is still currently legal, and I have a phone call for that as well. I called the Lakewood Police Department to confirm with them that they don't have a problem with open carry, and that it is in fact legal, because I've been reading the articles online and I'm getting a lot of the same information, but it doesn't hurt to just spend a few minutes. It takes a couple minutes on the phone, just to kind of get the local police levels input on that. In addition to it being legal, I also don't want to have an issue with police officers as well. And so that's why, if a cop wants to come talk to me about it, I'm going to be polite, I'm going to be respectful. I'm not going to, add gasoline to the fire that's already there. I'm not going to give anybody, problems. I'm going to be nice about it, and I'll let them, I'll just be nice, because there's really, as long as the officer's not being a dick, as long as the officer is not treading on my rights, I see no reason for why, I shouldn't just cooperate. Especially, even if I'm in a bad mood, I'm having a bad day, I see no reason to take that out on the officer, as long as he's being respectful, he's not trying to violate any type of right, that's fine. I don't see a problem with that. In fact, people who, go out of their way to create problems, those are the people, that's probably one of the biggest reasons for why Colorado is so diverse and complicated on this issue. And so, I definitely don't want to add to that. And so I have 3 phone calls here. One of them is the Belmar. There's a movie theater at the Belmar, which is in Lakewood. And so open carry and public property is legal. But whenever you're going into private property, such as a place of business, if they ask you to leave, then unfortunately you just gotta leave. It's really dumb. It's really ignorant. If I was a movie theater owner, I would want people to open carry in my theater. Absolutely. I would want that. I would. Because it really doesn't matter what policies I set for my theater and what laws are currently set for that particular location. A bad guy is not going to care. A bad guy is not going to give 2 shits of a rat's ass of what the law is or what the policy is. They're already out to do no good. And so, those laws and those rules, they only prevent the good people who are peaceful, and they just want to be able to protect themselves, or they want to have the option to. That's all that you're really doing with these laws, is you're preventing the good guys from actually, carrying their weapons. And so if carrying concealed was not taxed, and if the government didn't require all of these stupid regulations that are really none of their business, then I would carry my weapon concealed whenever I couldn't carry it openly. But I don't support concealed carry in the fashion in which it exists today, because they're taxing it, which is an infringement. I'm going to read to you the official Second Amendment. And then there's a word in there, infringe. That word infringe, I went ahead and I went through the trouble, and it's really not that complicated. I found the official definition. There's 2 definitions that I found for the word infringe. And so, I'm going to read off the definition, and I'm going to let you hear it for yourself. And I'm sure a lot of you already know this, but the Second Amendment is airtight. There's no way around it. And so I don't know how Denver and various other locations somehow managed to, get this pre-exemption, ban thing going. I've been reading up on it, and it's just interesting. But anyway, let's listen to the phone calls I have. The first one is movie theater. The second one is Denver police about my 10-inch knife, because apparently it's not legal, according to that officer. But I read everywhere I read online, and including the actual code, the actual city law code that I read online, it all said that there are some knives that are illegal, and there are some rules about concealed knives. But according to everything that I read, wearing a 10-inch hunting knife openly is not illegal. But the officer says it is. But anyway, the third phone call is Lakewood Police, and she was confirming that open carry is perfectly acceptable in Lakewood, and she set some clear guidelines for me to follow. She basically said that my weapon needs to be visible from all directions, front, back, and side. So I basically confirmed with her, and you'll hear it in the phone call. I'm confirming that it's okay for me to have my gun in my holster on the right side of my body on the hip, and then she confirms that's fine. And then she confirms that if I go into like a place of business, and if they ask me to leave, then I need to be respectful, and I need to comply with that. So I'm gonna go ahead and play those phone calls, and then I'm gonna read off that Constitution, Second Amendment, and the definition, because there are a lot of people who have never actually seen the Constitution, and it's actually available online. I mean, you don't have to pay anything to see it, So, but anyway, here's the first phone call.
Thank you for calling Century 16 at Palmer. How can I help you?
Yeah, hi. Do you guys allow open carry in your theater?
What do you mean?
Do you guys allow open carry of handguns in your theater?
No, we don't.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Have a nice day.
Sorry about that long ring. Forgot about that. Took a while for her to actually pick up the call. So this one is Denver Police about my knife.
Police officer Iverson, how can I help you?
Yeah, hi. I just have a couple of questions. Is a 10-inch hunting Bowie knife illegal to carry open in Denver?
Yeah.
It is illegal?
Yep.
Okay, what about concealed?
Yep.
Okay. Ammunition?
Knives cannot be any more than the edge of the knife, the cutting edge cannot be 3.5 inches.
Cannot be more than 3.5 inches?
Right.
Okay.
Okay?
Is that the entire state or just Denver?
I would say at least Denver, but it's probably fairly standard through the state, but you'd have to talk to each jurisdiction.
Okay, thank you.
All right, bye.
Alright, so there's that, which pretty much makes my tactical belt and my knife pretty much useless unless I'm in my place of dwelling or something like that, such as a house or maybe a hotel room. But of course I'm not going to try and get a return on those items. I'm just going to keep them. So this next one is Lakewood Police, and so this one I consider to be a constitutional win, or a win for a true American.
Lakewood Police, this is Nicole.
Yeah, hi. Is it legal to open carry outside of Denver County?
Are you just wanting to know for Lakewood?
Yeah, I have
Okay.
the subdivision map of Denver County, and so I can see that there are places in Lakewood, Edgewater area that are not in Denver County, so I was just confirming that open carry is perfectly legal in those areas.
Okay, so in the city of Lakewood it is, but you have to have it visible from all 3 points, which is the front, the back, and the side. But if the store does not permit it, then you have to either leave the store if they tell you to, or keep it in your vehicle or whatnot.
So visible from all areas, if I'm wearing it in a holster, totally visible on the outside of, let's say, my hip, for example, then there's no law against that as long as I keep it holstered.
Right. As long as it can be seen from the front, the back, and the side.
Okay. And then,
Okay.
How about a 10-inch hunting knife?
Let me get you down to the desk so that they can inform you on that, okay?
All right, so she transfers me over to the front desk where there is supposed to be another officer, and there probably is, but my call goes all the way to voicemail for whatever reason. The officer could have been busy or on another call for all I know. I'm sure they probably wouldn't be unusual for them to get like at least a couple of phone calls every single day about something like this. You know, somebody trying to get clarification on the rules regarding these things, which is really just taking up more of their time, you know, and creating less safety on the streets. But anyway, there's that. Let's go ahead and move on here to the Constitution. All right, so the Second Amendment, and I encourage people to look at the entire Constitution, but the Second Amendment is what I'm talking about right now. So basically, the Second Amendment is like the shortest and the most clear amendment, in my opinion. It could not be more clear than this. I mean, unless your IQ is in the shitter, if you're fucking retarded, then, you know, you might not understand this, but it doesn't take a genius to make sense of the Second Amendment. A well-regulated militia, or military, being necessary to the security of a free state, the right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. That is it. That is the Second Amendment. A well-regulated military being necessary to the security of a free state, the right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. Now, the actual wording is militia. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that correctly, but I did look up the actual meaning behind that word. And so it doesn't actually say military, it says militia, which is basically militia. And I did look up that word, and so basically that word, it clarifies that it's not talking about the military, it's talking about individual security. And so, you know, a quick search on the internet will actually show that to you. And then the word infringed, INFRINGED. So there's two definitions for that word. Actively break the terms of a law, agreement. And then the second definition is what really makes it airtight. And really all you need is one of these definitions is what can make it airtight. So the second definition for infringe is act so as to limit or undermine something. That is the second definition of infringe. Act so as to limit or undermine something. And so banning high-capacity magazines, that is an infringement. Banning open carry of any kind, that is an infringement. Taxing concealed carry, that is an infringement. Requiring proof of a safety course, that is an infringement. Now, there was a time when marijuana was illegal in Colorado. Now it's not. Marijuana is totally legal for recreational purposes, which means you don't need any type of training course or license or permit to buy marijuana. And so this is all just, it's just another prime example of how the system is not fair. It's designed to suppress the people. I don't smoke marijuana, but marijuana should have never been illegal. The issue is not individual choice. The issue is somebody who chooses to smoke marijuana and then get behind a motor vehicle and then crash and kill somebody or severely injure somebody or severely, injure other people's property. That's where the issue is. And so you're not going to prosecute marijuana in those types of cases. You're going to prosecute the person, the dumbass who decided to go and exercise his freedoms but not do it responsibly. And so it's the same difference when we're looking at gun laws. If somebody goes and shoots up a bunch of people, you cannot blame the guns. Why would you do that? The issue is not the guns. You're going to be mad at the person who did the crime. You're not going to be mad at Smith & Wesson or Glock. You're not going to be mad at some custom-made AR-15. No, you're going to be mad at the person. You're not going to try and prosecute a handgun. A handgun can't feel. A handgun cannot. There's no such thing as a mistake when it comes to a handgun or an AR-15 or a shotgun. There's no such thing as a mistake. It is the individual's ignorance that created the problem in the first place. And so marijuana should have never been illegal. I don't support it, but I do support individual choice. And so that's, I'm going to go ahead and stop right there. Just wanted to make a valid point. Don't take a 10-inch hunting knife into Denver. I apologize if I gave anybody the wrong idea, but you should definitely... I never... And see, this is how you know that you can actually kind of trust somebody, but you should always, this is what's ironic about it, you should still always verify the information. But one of the ways that you can actually know if somebody's heart is in the right place is if they tell you, never, ever, ever just blindly believe anything that I say. Okay, there's nothing wrong with listening to what I say. There's nothing wrong with taking into consideration the things that I say. But never, ever, ever blindly believe what I say. Never blindly believe what anybody tells you, no matter how close and how much you love them. Do not be fooled. You must always verify information for yourself. Always, no matter what it is. And, if I tell you that, that's how you know that my heart is in the right place. Because I'm telling you, don't just blindly believe what I tell you. Why would I say that unless I actually care, right? MassageBF.com, over and out. Thanks for watching.